Aikido is a path. Aikido is definitely a path in so many ways. It's like a journey. It's also, of course, a path, a way, or a michi, do in Japanese, which is like any of the traditional paths in Japanese culture, where you learn a series of techniques and practices, but what you're learning through that practice is yourself. You're learning about life, and you're growing and developing yourself. That's a very central part of Japanese culture, and then of course Aikido originated in Japanese culture. And then Aikido is definitely a personal journey for everyone who practices Aikido. And I think it's a path of learning. I'm not sure what else it would be. Aikido seems to open doors to learning. When I came into Aikido, I had no idea what I would learn. I didn't have a plan, I'm going to learn this through Aikido. I just started, and it opened doors I didn't even know existed. So I think it's an amazing path of learning that way, learning and discovery. And my primary teacher, Anno Sensei, who is a very wise man and expresses himself in very simple ways, he said, a couple of years ago, he said, when I came into Aikido, I thought it was shaped like this, like a mountain. Or, I thought that you came in at the bottom and then you came to the top. You would reach the top of the learning. And now I realize it's this shape. You come in through the narrow end and it opens up. And then there's so much to be learned, and it opens farther as you go. And that's been my experience too. The open-ended aspect of learning and discovery in Aikido is in itself a learning, like, oh really, you can just learn and learn and learn, find more to learn.
I had a strong affinity for the athleticism of Aikido. And one of the things that I brought to the mat was the fact that I knew how to train. I had been trained as a competitive swimmer from the time I was 5 years old, so I knew how to be coached. I understood clearly that there were places or times when I was going to be in what I would call a plateau, where it appeared that nothing was moving forward. And Aikido has all those same kinds of aspects to them. One of the principles of Aikido is taking the person's balance. And one of the things that I find is that people expect pushback. There's an expectation that there's pushback, and when there's not, it unbalances their presentation, their thought. And in that point, that place where they're out of balance, I can slide in and speak what's on my heart to say, to move in a way that honors their presence and their imbalance. And in that little imbalance place, I can actually slip in something that serves that person, that actually helps them regain balance. Because in the long run, I want my partner to get up off the ground. I want them to have taken a soft, massage-like fall that stimulates their thinking or their bodies. That's an outcome that is important to me, because I'm really uninterested in killing another person, if you will, of devastating. All those words that I hear people use in conversation. Well, I just devastated that person. I have no interest in that. I have an interest in expanding one's awareness of tenderness, of lovingness, of kindness. And that has to start in me before it can actually come out and stimulate another human being.
What we did in Japan, though, I say it again, I was in Japan where I studied, and they didn't do a lot of these things. In Japan, Aikido then was not really just like Aikido, like Aichi Jiu-Jitsu, a little harder style, which was fine, but now I'm not young anymore. I like the softer style, the way things flow, and you're your own castle, everything is around you. And my sensei used to tell me you're like a top, kid's toy top. You're spinning, everything around you spins. That's what it is. And I just like to stay with it. And I have people tell me, Sensei, sometimes your Aikido is very hard, but it's the old style, the old school. Well, Sensei, you'll be surprised, he was not always soft. My teachers were not always soft. Because I was the only American in the class, and I didn't speak Japanese, and I said a couple of guys were looking at me and they wanted to really work me over. It was kind of not easy. I've been punched, I've been kicked, I've been thrown down and pinned in many different ways that I can't even remember. And it wasn't being gentle. And I thought, gee, what is this? I liked it, so I learned it. And now I got to be careful not to do it because it's too hard. That's more a karate style. And the dojo was way up on a hill. We had to run up them steps. In Japan, the steps, they are small. Run up, get done working out, run down. Had to fold our gis a certain way, tie them a certain way, and I'd be going home. That's when I'd have my house in Japan. I walk down the street and they say, oh, judo? No. Kendo? No. Naniwa? Karate? No. Aikido? Aikido? Naniwa Aikido? Some Japanese didn't even know what Aikido was then. It was so new then. Because it was kept up near Hokkaido area, which is the northern part. What makes beautiful techniques? Flowing. And what got me, Akitoye was the one that did it. If you've seen you on a mat with this kind of a face, he'd say, smile. He wanted you to smile all the time. That means you're doing things that are, you're smiling. You're feeling. You smile. And the main thing in Aikido is breathing. People think this is Aikido. No. This and this. 2 inches below your navel, Eiki no Seiki at 1 point. Power begins here, ends here. Usually people are used to hurting one another to win. But you don't have to hurt somebody to win. They can control it without pounding on somebody or beating somebody up or being the tough guy. You don't have to be that. I've had people come into our class that worked out once or twice and they quit. Said, no, it's too soft. And we had some tougher guys come in and they said, oh, gee, we're going to stay here. And they do. Because old gray-haired old man puts them on their butt and holds them,
I started Aikido accidentally, really. I can't take any credit for having any awareness of what a martial art was or any kind of conscious practice. My best friend in college at Stanford was doing Aikido, and she told me about it over like winter break, and she described this really idyllic practice where the teacher talked in metaphors of nature, and it was very flowing, and it was based on cooperation, not competition. And I thought, oh, this is way too good to be true. So I went with her to class when winter quarter started, January 3rd it was, exactly 40 years ago now. And I got a college credit for it. And in my cynicism and my skepticism, I was blown away that she was right. It was really everything she said. And I fell in love with Aikido right away.
To me, for Aikido to be real meaningful, you have to be able to train with anybody, you know, at any place, any time, and it's not contingent, you know, on having like a beautiful dojo, you know, having status, being a powerful person. If you learn maybe 100 Japanese words, you can go anywhere in the world and train Aikido. And I've done that, and to me, that's a really beautiful aspect of the art, that it kind of transcends all the international boundaries, cultures, you know, races, everything, and that anybody in the world can practice Aikido together as long as you know, you follow certain parameters, you know, courtesy, respect, joy.
When I first started practicing Aikido, I was really fascinated by the parallels between Aikido and its philosophy and its physical movements and the work I do. I'm a sociologist. I'm also a relationship coach, and so I deal with human interactions all the time on a professional level. And I was fascinated by the physical parable of the movements and the way in which the physical movements represented what goes on between people psychologically and emotionally as they're trying to work together, cooperate together, live together.
Sensei would say, you know, about his ability to lose his balance, to lose his sense of center or hara, but his ability to regain it quickly. And I think that speaks to me of what it means to be human. It's not like I'm supposed to walk around and not be affected. It's not that I'm not supposed to have a reaction. It means that, yes, I'm going to have a human reaction. I can notice what that is, and then I have that ability, or more and more I develop that ability. How do I respond differently? How do I come back to being centered, or how do I come back to balance, where I'm not just being thrown off? And I think that just resonates with me, because most of my life is being about trying to achieve something and hold on to it. And I just see that it's not about trying to hold on to something, but it's about trying to open up to something and letting myself fall and get back up. Letting myself take be in a situation that I didn't respond maybe the way I'd like to, and then come back and respond differently. That to me is to be human, and that to me is to grow the work of Aikido, to create harmony, to help bring peace, because it's not peace outside. I have to have peace inside. If I'm not cultivating the peace inside of me, there can't be peace outside. I can't make people be peaceful. I can only be at peace inside myself. And that little bit there really helps me not get so down on myself about things I do and don't do. It's like, I'm still learning. I'm regaining my balance. A little bit quicker this time, a little bit slower that time. A little bit quicker, a little bit slower.